Yo, what's good, what's good? This is your boy HT Howard 702. Let's get it tripping like a kid untied shoes. You see the vibe and you see the move. Man, I know usually y'all see me in the avatar state, but again, I tell you, when it's something special and it has to be straight from the press, you got to do it face to face. And man, I got the wonderful Mr. Harrison Knight in the building. I need
Yes,
y'all to
sir.
give it up for him. Yes, man. If you don't know, now you know, man. Mr. Harrison Knight been around, if I'm not mistaken, 2 decades in this thing that we call entertainment. So all the way from, I'm not mistaken, from dancing to being on the screen to even doing voices, man. This man been doing everything to even, if I'm not even mistaken, even with the Broadway approach. So man, I am so happy to have this sit down, man. I've been following this journey. I can tell this to everybody since I was in 8th grade, and now I'm in my early 30s. So I think this is a good, well combo that's needed, man. But how are you doing today?
I am good, and thank you for that introduction. That was wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, thank you, man. No, no, I was just like telling you before this even started. No, this is sometimes it's just it leaves a smile to my face because in the space that I'm in with the metaverse, we create a lot of like we get a lot of creativity, and we don't know a lot of times where we get it from. And I literally say this all the time. I said if I ever started a format, I'm like I wanted to have you be like one of the first people that came up to it. And again, my
Wow.
show been up for like a year now, and you're my second guest now, face to face, without being in the headset and being on a mobile apparatus. So we are, hey, we
Hey,
getting it popping and rolling. So man, that's
what's up?
amazing. I'll get down to it, man. Mr. Harrison, man, I see you out here. I see again. I was just like sitting here tripping with your YouTube a little bit. I see you doing movie reviews and everything. That's why I'm like, it's that's touching everything, man. Like, what got you into this? Like, I guess this love for acting.
It started off very young for me. I started off doing it in church, actually. I started off singing in the choir, and every now and then we would do plays and like musicals. So that's what just kind of generally got me into acting. I just it felt natural to me, and I loved being on the stage. It just felt comfortable. I never got stage fright. I was just like, oh, this feels like home. And then from there, I did school plays, musicals, pretty much the same thing, and it just took off from there.
Man, and that's amazing to hear that for me because I say a lot of people, excuse me, when they say especially in that acting, like formula, I mean, it comes over time. So I mean, to hear that again, like to have that addition, like, oh, okay, hey, no, this is something that is of ease. That already shows that type of, I guess, intention. And I could tell that a lot, like with, like a few of your roles that I see so far. Like even, like some of your reels, I was just going through. I'm like, man, like just the wide ranges that you can go through and everything, especially how you say, to go in already with a so yeah, it brought me to like my next question with you, man. What was that like moment that you knew, like just like without this about the with the acting method, that you knew that this was like a foundation for you? Like I said, I heard that again. You had explored with church, you did school plays, but what was that like signified moment that you knew, like, okay, hey, this is where I'm needed at?
So one specific moment that I can think of off the top is when I was in like primary school. Um, I was um, I was asked to be a part of this group called the Music Makers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher, the her name was Cecilia Probst. Shout out to Miss Probst. And she told my mom that I had something special and that I needed to get to a bigger market for entertainment, for acting in general, because she just felt like I had some potential, and I thank her so much for seeing that in me because that was one of the things that fueled me, throughout my life.
Mm. And I mean that's one of the things I always talk about with my show. We have a lot of components that makes with tethering, and with tethering, we use that a lot in life without even knowing it because that's how we can move through certain ways that we do what we do with certain like moments and everything that's like tethered to us, and not just like in a space aspect, but when we're going out into this galaxy of unknown things, like it's good to have that tethering aspect because that shows hey that it's still following some suit instead of like just want to go out into the wilderness without knowing. So
Mm.
that format, and I like to hear that again from seeing with your like with your roles and not even just that, but seeing with your character, you could tell like when certain people like know that they like they have a distinguished quality about themselves they know about, because to know like your self-worth, that's how you project all. And I say that to a lot of people, like, I mean, that's the best way to really be in this day and age. And I love to hear. It brings me to like, what are certain that you feel like that you have from acting so far? Not like achieved. What are certain perks that you've seen so far with being like 20 years in this game?
You can say that one more time.
I say, what are certain perks that you see now from being 20 years in this entertainment field? Like, what perks you see so far?
Certain perks. Honestly, this, as you may have known, or heard, this industry is very unforgiving. It's
Mm,
very difficult, and there's never, you never really get that moment of like, oh, like I made it. I've
mm,
talked to people who are way more successful than I am, and they just feel like you can never get too comfortable. Let me just say that. But in terms
okay.
of perks, confidence.
Mm,
That confidence has come. I even when I was doing earlier projects, I was never as confident as I am now. They say some teachers will say that it takes 30 years to make a great actor. And I feel like that's a true. I feel like that's true because you have to live. You have
mm.
to go through things and endure things that'll make you not only grow as an actor but as a person. So yeah, that confidence. That's something that's come.
No, and that's an amazing trait to really distinguish from that, because without confidence, you can't like find certain abilities and will find certain range to go. And not even as that, probably find like certain ways about moving along without even knowing about. And like how you say, like you have to go through certain. I mean, you have to trans. Like you're just not gonna have like everything in one day or know everything in one day. And no, that's I like to answer with confidence, because especially in these fields, and I just said too, like this, to be a minority in this day and age with this platform, how they already be distinguished, I feel like a lot of times that confidence is needed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you have to walk into the room not with a chip on your shoulder, but with that elegant, like, hold on, no, like, been pushed around too long, not to be sitting here just being quiet too long. No,
Right.
that's an amazing thing to have with that, because that determines passion, that builds character. Not even
Mm-hmm.
that builds that fire. And no, I say I like that answer. I like that answer, man. I thought I was gonna have some hard questions. You know, you know, it's amazing to see that, because again, I fall back to like what I was talking about earlier with tethering. I'm seeing you in this entertainment right again. You got 20 years in this platform, and that's amazing to hear. 20 years, even with anything. I mean, you got some cats who don't even work like to 20 years. So to sit here and like to be in a field that you're dedicated to, that's like it's mind blowing to me, because I know there's probably many times where you're sitting here like, hold on, man, okay, I don't want to probably be on this field. Or that brings me to like my next question with you: is you have like any moments so far in these 20 years that you wanted to walk away?
Of course.
I
Of course.
don't. I gotta ask the generic question in there. You know, just throw in the subpar. I
Yeah,
mean, but
no. Go ahead. These are great. These are great. Because people need to hear this. People like to show off the best aspects of their life, right? Especially with social media. And so some people can be discouraged, thinking like, "Oh, I can't get to that point because it looks easy from their point of view," and it's not. It's tough. It's tough all the time. And I'm bringing up another quote, but they say things never get easier.
mm-hmm.
You just get better.
Oh, I like that.
And it's yeah, there have been a few times where I wanted to quit because it's hard, man. Sometimes you think you can do your absolute best on an audition, and you may never hear back from it. Or you'll just see it on TV or in the theater. You're like, oh, so that's what happened.
Oh,
Yeah, you put your heart and soul to this. You're literally putting yourself into it. And when you feel like that's not reciprocated, it's like, oh, okay, back to the drawing board, and that happens a lot. What you're gonna lose out. You're gonna get a lot of no's more than you're gonna get yeses. So you have to be really, really tough skinned.
oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, not about like I say. That's the only thing I hate about sometimes with building up with human characteristics. You have to go through manure to grow into the flower, and I
That
mean
part.
say that like in a lot of times, like you really have to go through some ish. Like many days, like because I laugh like somewhat with like being younger. I called myself like, okay, hey, I want to try like with this acting route and everything. And I said, I think the farthest I ever got with, like I was telling to one of my comrades, got like a little callback almost like for the all that auditions. This is like back in like
Mm.
2005.
Mm.
Remember in that term, like how you said, there's certain moments I remember like sticking out to me, and then I remember like, okay, now 20 years later, and now I'm like watching, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't get that call that audition now. Like, I mean, not with all that, but I'm like, God
Yeah,
will make you laugh at certain times because you're sitting there, you're seeing that one door close, but then you probably see it like, okay, hey, there's three other doors that open since then.
absolutely.
Crazy, like what I was saying about with tethering, thing that you just didn't do just with like the physical realm of acting. I also seen you doing voice work. Also even like now again movie reviews. What brought about like this tethering aspect? Like, did you always knew that too that you was gonna be able to do characters or so, or like how did that come about? Like I remember you were saying about like with looping, like looping work. Is that like another form of acting, or is it just like?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So looping is also known as ADR, stands for automated dialogue replacement.
Okay.
So basically, any character in a film that's not mic'd up or is not a major character, we take care, like a loop group will take care of those characters. So like basically like ancillary characters, background characters.
Okay.
Every now and then we'll get like characters who like get some screen time, but they're just not mic'd up, like I explained.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looping is definitely acting, and majority of it is improv. So
Okay.
we're just coming up with stuff off the top of the head.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's that came about by taking a voiceover class, and the teacher said, she thought I had some potential, once again, and she just kind of brought me along, and from there I just started getting work. It just one thing led to the other. It's like a domino effect.
Uh, and that's what I love to hear about. How you say because you're staying consistent. Like with that like format, do you feel like there was more of a lot of like looping work instead of like with the method acting, or was this just like a sense like going with the technology, or is it like a both work? Do you see like both?
So what was the question again? Say it one more
Oh,
time.
like what you said about with the looping and like the looping aspect of like, doing with the voice work, and then also you do the physical realm with the acting. Do you see there like there's a merger of both, or do you see like more of like each component? Like, do you see more work with like, looping aspect, or do you see more work like with like the physical realm of being an actor? Well, physical acting.
It's tough to say. It varies. It's like a balance. Sometimes on camera acting jobs will come along. Other times, voiceover jobs, looping jobs will come along. It's just kind of like it's a
Basically,
balance.
what you feel like? I mean, like how they say balance with it. I mean, and that's good to hear what that feels too, because to be uh to be again 20 years in this thing, I know there's many days where like you probably seeing some stuff like, oh, do I really want to do something like this, or to even terms like they have stuff that you can become attached to, and again, that's one thing I really was saying like, again because when I do my homework on everybody who I talk to and everything, I love to see just like the build up. And this thing too, like I remember like watching TV with my grandmother or what, so it's just be like certain stuff. Like I remember like watching CSI, and I'm like, oh, I'm seeing like a demo reel. I'm like, oh, I see this pop up on there. With the acting, do you have a certain field that you love to like stay in? Like, do you love like more drama works, or can you see yourself like doing action and everything? Like what is your type of format to, like when you go to certain of these roles?
I love doing everything, honestly. I mean, that's what every actor says. I personally love. My favorite is sci-fi. That's one of my favorite,
Hmm.
yeah, genres that I haven't had too much experience in, just a little bit. But I'd love to do more of that.
Okay. See, look, and man, sci-fi. And that's great. Again, I just love this conversation where it's going with because sci-fi deals with technology. And that was like one of my questions with you. Like I see that you're on with the technology train. I see watching with the movie reviews, being a person that been in this field from where it's just going to like auditions and everything, the physical to now you probably did like some Zoom auditions, all this and that, like even to the realm. I don't know like how much you know about with the metaverse, but it's one of the questions I ask to everybody. Do you see AI taking over acting?
That's an interesting question. Hmm, it's hard to predict the future. I, as of now, no.
Mm-hmm.
They're these production companies. They're trying to, how do I say, um, infuse AI more and more each day. That's why we're having disputes right now with our contracts and whatnot. Specifically, they wanted to take background actors and use their likenesses forever for like one payment, and it's just like it's messed up, A company can just use your likeness for the rest of eternity in perpetuity and
Yes.
give you one time payment. Like that's cool. So um, I don't think so because I feel like people watch certain movies and TV shows for their favorite actors. And if they're watching AI, it's like they're not really getting the performances. They're just getting AI.
Yeah.
So
Computer.
um,
Hmm.
yeah, like I'm if I see Denzel is in a movie, I'm going to see the movie for Denzel. You know what I'm saying? Like I just yeah, I don't see it
Yeah,
taking over.
no, I love to hear that. I say that's, I mean, that's the real comparison. Like it brings me back to the, like I say, the old days. I hate to say that. My friend was just making fun of that the other day. But we don't want to be in that circle. Say back in my day, but I remember
We're
being
getting to
young.
that age, right?
I remember being younger and listening to my parents and everything talk about like certain like trends. Like I remember when I was first starting able to get on AOL, and I remember
Mm.
just like with AOL, everybody AOL babies, you had to take off the phone and put in like the different a different line.
Yeah.
And to my parents and everything, like, man, like who was gonna turn off their phones to get on the internet? I to now you can have this all hooked up, and again, you have your phone, fax, all this, and it brought me to about like one of the favorite times. I remember my dad saying, "Oh no, somebody being on the internet, they ain't gonna be able to get a job now." Till hey, you internet, this is your a lot of people. This is your job now. This is a field that we have to be on like to adapt, and this is one of the things that made me chase after with technology. With this, I told this to everybody. Terminator 2 scarred me for life. I'm like, I will always want to be the one that was working behind the robot instead of saying, okay, hey, I don't know what's going on.
Say.
No, I see with I completely see that too. Like, because you have to have emotion. You got to have again range. You have to touch the the not the character, but you have to touch the audience with the character, and that's what a lot of people go to the movies for. Like how you say with Denzel, like you see him for for his dialogue, the way that he says certain stuff. To even I know certain people that loves to just go watch Jason Statham, and I'm like this dude
Hmm.
says the same four words every movie, and I'm like, but he throws eight different punches, and that feeling. I was just saying earlier, I can't just imagine AI just in there. I mean, I can imagine like, okay, hey, they have a good fighting scene, but just with the dialogue, hey, I'm here to fight. Now
Right.
what we do, but no, so AI and acting. So yeah, Rob De Niro, I've seen you while you're making twins now, but so with this, like again, you said you did all different types of like fields with this entertainment route. I see you again. You say you started doing with music and everything too. Like, how did you play the music into like with your acting? Like, how did that come about? Like, I mean, because I know a lot of people like when you do music, you steer away from acting, or when you do like acting, you steer away from that. How did you find the merger to do both?
Well, I've always loved music. I mean, who doesn't? But I've always written music. I started writing music since I was like 11,
Mm.
12. Yeah, I would just write in my little notepad and I would just write to instrumentals that I heard from other artists. I'd be like, oh, what would I do to this song? Like, what would my verse be like? What would my hook be like if I got on it? So, yeah, and music has always been integral with my acting too. Um, before I'm about to deliver like a big scene, especially if it's like super emotional and it's heavy, I listen to like a playlist.
Mm.
Um, I did this film called The Watsons Go to Birmingham, and before I did this emotional scene, I would just listen to film scores, and that just really brought out certain emotions in me. So yeah, it's just always been a part of me.
Mm. No, and I say because again, I watch like all ends, and that's what I was like. I was watching with the music aspect because while watching some of like your videos and everything, it made me laugh. It brought me back, brought me back to the We the Party
Mm,
days because I remember also that y'all had to do music videos and everything with that. Like I mean,
we sure did.
and that's why I'm like, I true fan status. I was telling this to like one of the homies the other day. He was like, music videos, like what? And I'm like, yeah, they had a whole soundtrack almost. I remember like they did 3 or 4 videos, like She's Ratchet, stuff like it was a few like, and but no, to really see that showcase in there because again, you just can't put certain people in like music videos, or you just can't put certain people around music because certain people you can tell when somebody's out of place or when somebody just don't want to have fun. Um, can I ask, like, with on being on that set and everything, was there a lot of like merging with music and acting on there? Because again, I'm seeing y'all on set and everything, like with Snoop Dogg, Debo, all of them. Again, like YG. Like, how did y'all have time together like to make them like do real deal acting, or was that just like?
It was. Well, let me just start off by saying that was one of the most fun projects I've ever worked on. That was like a dream.
Yeah.
Just meeting all those legends, just people I've watched and looked up to my whole life. It was crazy. But Mario Van Peebles, the director, he's a very he's great at what he does, excellent at what he does, legend in the community, and he just demands and commands that respect from people. He's accomplished so much, and it's like when Mario talks, everyone's gonna listen. You know, so a lot of the people that were on the film, they've been longtime collaborators with him.
Mm.
He's worked with Debo, Tony Lister, rest in peace,
Yes.
for years. So Sally Richardson, Whitfield, a lot of people. So yeah, it wasn't tough. Mario really knows how to corral or get his actors together and just do the thing.
And on, I mean, and I love to see that format because because when you can see somebody fun at what they're doing, that's like the biggest part. And like I was saying earlier, like to sit there and have a movie. Also, you got music videos to go with this movie. Just to have like again, just playing around on set and all that. That leaves indentions and everything. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm like, that movie's about to get ready to be making some years already, and I'm just like just tripping about like all of y'all that was on there, just like the different like avenues y'all went. I end up like about a year or so ago, end up talking to the brothers, Medella and I keep forgetting his name. Keep forgetting his name. Thought it was he was the main role. This was like when they had a mixtape drop together, and like I
Oh,
was
Michaelo.
yeah, Michaela.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I'm sitting here again.
My
It's all
guys.
I'm like I just remember again. That's the long hair days because I remember sitting here in the winter like trying
Yeah.
out and all this and that, and I'm like, oh, I found out I'm not mixed. I'm like, oh, but no. I remember like talking to them last year, and like I was just found out they still chase after music, and that was one of my biggest things because now I'm able like I was talking about my son earlier. My son laughs at me now because I'm like telling him, I'm like, yeah, man, I remember watching this and everything. I was in 8th grade. And he's like, what? And 3rd grade now. And he's like, you're watching about them going like to do a party or something and everything. And I'm like, yeah, this was like a lot of like inspiration and everything back in the day because again, I remember watching that. And I kid you not, like the next weekend, I remember we was like all trying to throw a party, and I just remember, like again, I'm like, oh, I got this song from here, and I'm like, you got to reach the one to teach the one, and like, and just
Wow.
it's certain stuff that like really stays with you because not even is that like you follow certain people from that, and like again from that well watching that movie, I only like follow I guess like 3 people. That was you, besides Mario Van Peebles and everything, and with the brothers. That's what I love about being in this field now because you caught on my radar about I said about again a year ago when my son he's just going through reels and everything, and oh, your song pop up, and I'm like, that's what caught me. I'm like, hold on, he's like dancing, all this now. I'm like, but it wasn't like an acting role, and it was really that's what caught my eye because I did not know that you really did music, and
Mm.
again, that's why I'm like, oh, this is like something like almost 15 years something later, like oh, you find out something new about a person, and that's what makes me more draw in because it's not just like what's alluded to the eye, but there are still a human being that hey have many capabilities, many like hey many abilities that we probably don't even know about. And that brings me to like one of my questions with you. Do you have like so far in being in this field like 20 years, do you have like one role that just precisely sticks out to you the most?
Ooh, that's tough.
Oh, I was gonna ask the hard ones. Yeah.
I would have to say two. Um, uh, Byron from the Watsons go to Birmingham, and Noah Waldman from the Inspectors. Those two projects are, I mean, the biggest so far in my career, and I grew so much during both of those projects. So those both of those characters really mean so much to me. Um, they helped me grow as a person, and they helped me learn more about myself as I was learning about the characters. So those are two vital characters that stuck out to me.
And I mean that's what makes transition is like how you were saying earlier. Oh, excuse me. Water quick.
Mm.
Like how you were saying earlier, to work with certain stars. You was working with Watson's. You work with one of my favorite. I'm like, oh, I love Wood Harris,
Yeah.
and now I mean there's that. That's why I say with certain range to have a formidability because again, with a lot of people don't know if you got my viewers, you have to go check out. Y'all touch on actual issues with with the Watsons go to Birmingham. That's a lot. That's kind of hard to achieve with a lot of movies nowadays because everybody will be sitting there like, oh well, hey, this is fake feeling or like how you were saying like you have to get in certain modes or moods. I'm sorry, like really get to a scene or really have through that. So really feel that distinguish like through the screen. No, good acting, good. I mean, big ups with that because
Thank you.
you can see the transition. That now even I could just imagine now. I can't wait to see you try out for a sci-fi role. That's what builds transitions. Just like how we could watch Dave Chappelle go from in there being with his fingers crossed and everything in a piano to hey, like he drama roles and everything to still having his own lane that he was carved. And I say big up what you're doing with that because a lot of times when you're in this industry, you're unforgiving. Like a lot of times with acting, like I said, you walk away from that or want to walk away at times, and now you're sitting here doing with the music and then a lot of times too, you find out like, oh, hey, I could do the both worlds, like no Hannah Montana. And a lot of times, like we get to a point like we're either like down to our wits end about finding out this capability, and it's better. I mean, instead of like going through the ties of oh hey, this is something I dibbled in, this is something I could probably put together now instead of oh I waited 30 years to find out I could play the flute. Like I'm sitting here now, like I been know I could write songs, like and no, to really have that experience because it becomes overwhelming at times. Like especially being in this day and age, we have life happen. Again, we just had a
Right.
pandemic that happened not too long ago that like stopped everything, even with technology to we even acting. Like I just watched a movie, I kid you not, that was filmed straight from Zoom, and I'm sitting here just like mind baffled, like. I thought it was something to watch, teenage kids talk about throwing a party or something. To now, we're watching filmmakers go on here on this platform and making straight like film program and all platforms. And bring me to like one of my final questions with you. Do you feel like you play a part in showcasing like um virtuality with these roles? I mean, because I've seen you post your demo reel the other day, and I was like, I was baffled. I didn't know you had like so much like with the TV status and everything. But do you the famous joke say like do you feel like once you got on Law and Order, that means you got some type of name in here?
Ah, I like I said earlier, it goes back to what I said. I you just never feel like you really make it. Like I feel like once you I feel like once you get to that point, you start to get too comfortable.
Mm.
And when you get too comfortable, that's when the work starts to lack. You know, that's when you just start resting on your laurels, and you're not acting at the ability that you should be, or that, and that applies to everything.
Okay.
So any job. So yeah, I just you can't. I don't think I'll ever feel like I've made it. I want to continually learn and continually get better. You know.
And that's what I love to hear, man. Instead of being content, you gotta really show time as well, and that's what gonna really grow in this day and age. And big us with that. And ah, tell me my tongue what I was about to ask. Oh yes. So man, before I even have you leave out this place and everything, do you have any exciting projects that you could talk about? Or you got anything in the works that you're excited to bring about to people?
Yeah, well, I just had a short film be nominated for an NAACP Image Award.
Hey,
Yeah, we didn't win, but
hey,
it's being
hey.
shopped around. Yeah, it's being shopped around to different networks. It's called Iffy. So
Okay.
it's got like a Boondocks vibe to it. So it's pretty cool. Black animation, so it's pretty
Hey.
cool. And also, I got two more music projects releasing this year. I released one earlier in later in September, later in February.
Mm.
It's called Unmixed Nights Part One, and then I have two more projects releasing this year. So look out for those. Yeah.
Man. And can you let the wonderful people know where they can find you at? And I mean, I'd like not stalk you, but hey, like what realms can they follow you on?
Harrison X Knight, and that's my social media handle on everything.
Yeah, hey, and he's not playing. I seen that pop up on Facebook, and I'm like, man, it's been that way for a minute. Oh man, I thank you. I thank you for what you do on this platform, and not even as that. I cannot wait to see this like merger like leak on until like the metaverse. Because again, I'm getting ready to have watch parties all in my headset, and your movie's gonna be one of the first ones I'm putting up there. We're gonna be watching
Hey,
about y'all going to Birmingham, but no,
let's
big
go.
what you do on this platform, man. Hey, any way the Howard Hour can help elevate that, hey, showcase that phenomenon as that, man. Let us know if we got to show the next trailer on our show or whatever, man. Hey, I got you. But no, thank you for what you do, my man. A true fan, man. And hey,
Thank you.
see what more comes from you in many years to come.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yes, man. Look, y'all seen it here first, man. We just had the man, great Harrison Knight here. He tells you, don't get comfortable with what you're doing. Stay content. No, never do that. You got to really keep running. Gonna stay with these laps, man. R.I.P. to Nips with that, because you say the marathon continues, man. This is really what happens when you in this day. You have to grow. You have to transition. Confidence that flower, you have to really sprout up and show you can wither through these storms. So up until next time, this is your boy HT Howard 702. Let's get tripped like a kid, untie his shoes. Thank y'all for rocking with me because I rock with you. Go out there and do something great. Only we can flood this stuff like Lake and maybe one day get big at it like Ricky Lake. No hairspray though, but man, we gonna always be flammable with the words. And you could be the choice to somebody else, or you in there that's being content. And we never want that. So up until next time, your presence is a presence, and let's go.